You ever heard of a school shooting? No, not in this country. I was in high school in a big city. We had just finished our final exams and the whole school was just kind of hanging out in the hallways. It was really hot outside, so all of the windows were open. There was this one window that looked out over the football field and the basketball courts, and it was decorated with posters made by the art club. And it was just kind of a cool window to hang out by. And then we heard these gunshots in the distance. At first, we couldn't tell where they were coming from. And then someone said, "Hey, those shots, they're coming from outside." And then we started to hear more and more gunshots. It was like bang, 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 bang. And then there was a pause and then more gunshots. Bang, 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 bang. It was really scary because no one knew what to do. The teachers didn't know what to do. The students didn't know what to do. The only thing that we could think about was, where are the shooters? Are they coming in? Are they gonna start shooting at us? You ever seen a kid with a backpack holding a weapon like this? So I was at school and I saw this kid, maybe 17, 18 years old, with a backpack slung over his shoulder. And in his hand, he's holding a weapon. Now it looks like he's just holding it casually, but if you look closely, his hands are shaking. He's angry, he's confused, doesn't know what to do. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this kid doing with a weapon? Is he gonna hurt himself? Is he gonna hurt someone else? What's going on here? Now, from a distance, all I could see was the back of his head. But as he got closer, I could see the front of his face. And when I saw the look on his face, the anger, the confusion, the sadness, the hopelessness, it was heartbreaking. I don't know what this kid's story is. I don't know what led him to this point in his life. But if you see a kid with a backpack and a weapon, please help him. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you? Well, I was in Mrs. Williams' class and we were just doing our regular math lesson. And all of a sudden, I felt something fall on my head. And when I looked down, I saw this big spider crawling on my arm. I started freaking out because I'm terrified of spiders. And I just started screaming at the top of my lungs. And then all the students started hiding under their desks. And Mrs. Williams, being the hero that she is, started telling us to stay calm and that she would get rid of the spider. But it was so embarrassing. Then, like 10 minutes later, she finally got the spider out, and we were all so relieved. But then she turned around and saw my phone on my desk, and she asked me, "Whose phone is this?" And I was like, "It's mine." And she said, "Why did you bring your phone to school?" And I was like, "I didn't, I swear." But she didn't believe me, and she took my phone and put it in detention. The scene, a classroom door, its glass panes half open, smoke pouring in from the hallway. The air is thick with the smell of burning wood and something else, something metallic, like blood. The clock on the wall is ticking loudly, casting long shadows on the floor. And then you hear it, the sound of footsteps pounding down the corridor, the squeak of shoes on the tiled floor, the muffled voices of students. But they're not running towards the classroom, they're running away from it. Their shadows stretch and distort, taking on a life of their own, their faces pale and drawn. You try to get out, but the door won't open, it's locked from the outside. You could scream, but what good would that do? No one's coming to save you. You're trapped in this room with whatever horrors lie in wait in the closet. And then the lights go out, plunging you into darkness. The only sound is the ticking clock and the distant screams of the students. It's just a matter of time before they find you. Here's a scary image from a school that was forced to evacuate. This is a long hallway filled with backpacks that students left behind when they ran for their lives. The school was in lockdown for 2 hours while police were searching for an intruder. But it turns out that the intruder was a ghost. In all seriousness, though, this is actually a really haunting image. You can see all of the backpacks lined up in a row, just waiting to be picked up. But knowing that these backpacks were abandoned in fear of a deadly threat makes this image so much more eerie. It's like a scene from a horror movie where the main character is running for their life and they have to go through this long, dark hallway. And in the end, they look back and they see all of these backpacks scattered on the floor, just like in this picture. I don't know about you, but I would definitely be scared to go through that hallway. What about you? Would you go through this hallway? Let me know in the comments. You're gonna want to see this crazy scene. A ton of police cars and other emergency vehicles just flooded the school's main entrance. I don't know why they're here. I don't know what's going on. I just got off the phone with someone inside the school and they said that there's an urgent situation happening right now. They don't know what's going on. They've been told to stay inside the classroom. I'm gonna go try to find out what's happening. There's a bunch of police cars, like 10, 20, 30 police cars all here at the school, and there's also a helicopter that just landed on the football field. I don't know if this is a drill or not. I don't know what's going on. But I am gonna go over there, and I am gonna ask the police what is happening. It's really scary because you don't see this happen every day. A helicopter landing on a school football field. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm gonna keep you updated on what's happening. That moment when your whole class is fighting and you just want to help your friend. We were in the middle of class one day when things got really out of hand. There was a big fight going on and someone even pulled out a knife. I was so scared that someone was gonna get hurt, and then I saw him. He was kneeling on the ground with blood coming out of his mouth. I immediately ran over to help him, but before I could do anything, my other classmates stepped in and started helping him. I don't know what would have happened if she hadn't been there. But as it was, she ended up saving his life. He had a stab wound on his chest, and she kept telling him to stay awake. She was talking so fast and loud that I couldn't understand what she was saying. But I could see that she was trying to keep him alive. And then finally, when the ambulance arrived, we all ran outside to see what had happened. When they told us that he was gonna be okay, we all breathed a sigh of relief. This is what happens when a bullet shatters a classroom window. I know it looks like a normal piece of glass, but trust me, it's not. You see that tiny little hole right there? That's where the bullet went in. And then the glass just exploded outwards into these beautiful shards. It's like 1,000 tiny pieces of glass, each one reflecting and refracting the light in a different way, creating this beautiful rainbow effect. It's amazing to me how something so small and insignificant looking can cause so much damage. I mean, just think about it. A bullet going through a window is not something that you would normally see. It's not like a car accident or a building on fire. It's just a normal day at school. And then all of a sudden, boom, a bullet shatters the window and you're left with this beautiful, mesmerizing image that will stick in your mind for the rest of your life. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. This is 1 minute. 1 minute of a school bell ringing on an endless loop. The bell is our only hope to escape the madness. But with each passing moment, it's getting harder and harder to hear above the screams. This is what it sounds like when no one is left to ring the bell. When the bell rings on its own, it echoes through the halls, bounces off the lockers, reverberates through the empty classrooms, and it's all we have to remind us that we're not alone in this. That there are others out there who are trying to escape just like us. This is the sound of freedom. This is the sound of the bell. Can you hear it? It's getting louder. Now, this is the most heartbreaking scene I've ever witnessed. We immediately stopped filming and went to investigate. When we got outside, there were these two guys running. They were both holding their stomachs. One of them collapsed right in front of our eyes. The other one made it to the sidewalk. He looked back at us and then he just disappeared around the corner. We found out later that those two guys were students. They had just been shot outside the school by a gunman. In the aftermath, people started showing up with candles and flowers to pay tribute to the victims. There were parents there crying, holding their kids close, whispering to them, "You're so brave, you're so strong." A teacher was there. She was comforting a student. She said, "You don't have to be afraid. You're safe now." A moment of silence was held. Everyone was crying. It was the most heartbreaking scene I've ever witnessed.